everyone, and welcome back to Identity Insights by Indicio. Today, I'm joined by Indicio CEO Heather Dahl to discuss Indicio's recent nomination as a finalist for the Digital Safety, Governance, and Privacy category of Constellation's Supernova Awards. Thanks so much for making some time for me today, Heather. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about yourself before we get
No, I think we're just so proud that we were able to support CETA and the government of Aruba in this accomplishment together.
So these awards, and I'm quoting from their website here, are recognizing individuals and teams who prioritize disruptive technology and transforming their organizations with digital initiatives. So Indicio is being recognized for the company's work with CETA and the government of Aruba. Could you tell us a little bit about the project that Indicio was nominated for?
Absolutely. We worked with CETA and the government of Aruba, and together we created a technology that lays the foundation for being able to authenticate and share any kind of data in an immediately actionable way. Really, if you think about it, it goes back to the missing verification layer in the internet that we use today. But what it adds is a meaningful and powerful ability to deliver personal privacy. So Aruba, the government of Aruba and CETA really saw how this technology could not only reopen tourism during the pandemic, but that technology actually was building the foundation for the future. Because let's face it, it was eliminating fraud in Aruba. It was solving the really tricky problem of sharing private health data, because it removed the need for any kind of direct integration with a healthcare provider or a third party who was making a decision on behalf of either the traveler or the government. And then they saw how they could take that technology that was trialed during the pandemic and apply it to how we travel, how we work, ultimately how we live our lives in this post-pandemic world. When you look at what CETA and the government of Aruba did in that collaboration, is that they emerged as true visionaries during what was an absolutely incredible, difficult time for the tourism and travel sectors that never in their careers or history had they experienced that type of complete contraction of the market. And so they were in the thick of it, the most difficult, challenging situations they could find themselves in without any prior warning. And not only were they able to get in there and recover their travel and tourism in that particular project, but they were able to say, you know what we're doing today is actually going to drive us forward. And so with Indicio, it's been an absolute honor and privilege to work and collaborate with the CETA and government of Aruba teams. And in my personal career, it's been one of the most rewarding, educational, challenging, and exciting projects that I have ever been a part of. And so we're very thankful for Constellation in recognizing our collaboration as a finalist for this award.
All right, sounds good. So I think you touched on it a little bit there, but why is it such a big deal for Indicio to be named a finalist? If you could go into that a little bit more.
It is what CETA and the government of Aruba proved over the last 2 years. And when we say proved, like they were in the wild, right? They were deploying it on the ground. They were working with people using the applications. They were working through the UX and UI. I mean, everything that they were acknowledged for was something that was deployed and worked through. And what they proved is that you can have data that can be authenticated reliably without having to check in with the source or phone home or cross-check with the third party, and that data can be immediately actionable. It can be immediately actionable whether it's the context of the particular use case they were solving, or it can translate into other challenges that they're trying to address. So at the end here, we know that we're no longer constrained by the traditional siloed architecture of the internet, the typical Web 2.0 architecture. It is proved that we're no longer constrained to that, and that data can be shared in ways that allow for consent, they protect privacy, it delivers security, and that data can be trusted as well. And so what we're doing with the government of Aruba and CETA and parties moving forward is we are developing trusted digital ecosystems. That this ecosystem is really what you could say is a shorthand for rewriting the structure of the internet that brings together the web, it brings together digital interaction, but more importantly, it brings digital relationships. So here, imagine data being able to instantly prove what it is, where it came from, and then being able to make an immediate decision. And you're doing that with any kind of direct integration. You're doing that through a peer-to-peer manner. You're dealing with that with digital consent that meets the new and emerging regulatory requirements about privacy. And what has just occurred is a new kind of digital freedom that we were not experiencing before the pandemic. And it really has opened the digital landscape to benefit everyone and to create an incredible amount of new opportunities and ways with new architecture that we never imagined before. And it is here now, it is here today. And it's amazing to see CETA and Aruba drive it forward.
So I loved what you were talking about there with new digital freedom and digital architecture in place. And you briefly mentioned, right, the use case for CETA and Aruba, which was to reopen the Aruban Island post pandemic. What are some other use cases that either Indicio is working on right now or that you could foresee in the near future?
And I think that's a really important point, is while we were doing this in the midst of the pandemic, specifically for health information, the power here extends beyond health and travel. And travel and health can also be a part of the larger ecosystem. So it's really important to underscore this is not a pandemic only solution. This was the foundation of the future. And so when you look beyond travel and health, you can see trusted digital ecosystems emerging for areas like climate accounting, for connected devices, for KYC and fintech, the metaverse and identity, supply chains, but supply chains in ways that must be privacy preserving and not hashing data to a public chain. There are many use cases where that is very important. And all those areas Indicio is working on with customers today, which makes it more exciting because what I just talked about the future of trusted digital ecosystems, this isn't me dreaming up ideas. These are things that are going on that are heading to market, that are being deployed and implemented, that we work on every day to support. And so when you look at all these solutions, they really drive on the leadership that the incredible Indicio team represents in the open source community, our commitment at Indicio to open source for innovation and innovation solutions. And also, it's not just the technology that we provide. Our benefit to our customers and their repeated success and awards that they win is that we bring a holistic approach. And what I mean by that is we deliver the finest technology excellence in development, but we also bring involved marketing, communications, governance, legal, business development, supportive sales teams, because you can have awesome technology, but if you can't deliver a full business solution, and by full business, I mean the other parts of the business, like communications, like how to monetize, etc., then your solution is not going to reach the potential that it could. And we repeatedly have shown that our customers succeed and win because we bring that 360 approach to everything that we deliver to them.
All right. Wow, that is an excellent point. So for this particular project working with CETA and Aruba, are there any next steps? Is there a next iteration that we can look forward to?
Yes, and we were so excited to see CETA's leadership talk about how they are working once again with the government of Aruba to pilot an implementation of the ICAO digital travel credential, often known as the DTC. They're doing so because they are absolutely committed to creating a seamless travel for people from the moment that they buy a ticket or check in through the entire travel ribbon all the way to arrival and your experience at your destination. And so what they did was, announce and talk about the fact that we continue to move forward with the DTC, with the government and that use case, and we continue to move forward with it. Once again, utilizing that open source approach, community leadership, and a full 360 in how it's going to be implemented and rolled out and piloted. And so we couldn't be more excited to continue working with the awesome and absolutely inspiring teams at CETA and the government of Aruba. Fantastic group. And there's just so much energy, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do here in the coming weeks and months.
All right, sounds good. Well, it looks like that is about our time. Thank you again so much for joining me today, Heather. And if you do want to learn a bit more about the Supernova Awards and the project that Indicio was nominated for, we'll have a link to that down below. And if you'd like to learn a bit more about decentralized identity, please be sure to subscribe, and we'll continue to bring you some more educational content from this channel. Thanks again, Heather. Is there anything that you'd like to plug before we go?
Absolutely. The Constellation Awards are in October. The awards are open for voting, and so we would very much appreciate it, all the teams involved, if we could have your vote, and the link will be provided in the description below on this video.